Today's question comes from Henrik. He asks, in the past years, what have been the three most impactful agile changes that you have seen at the C level? So starting at the beginning, I think one of the most important leadership behaviors is to model the behaviors that you want to see within the organization. A simple example of this is with the values of the company. If you say that you value something but you behave in a different way, people will see that and notice that you do not actually value that. The same is true if you want to try to be more agile and responsive in your organization. You as leaders need to do the same thing. So an example of this would be something like making sure that your calendars are not 100% fully booked so that you can be available. It would be things like demoing and showing off some of the things that perhaps you have done over the last few weeks and months. And of course, talking about the second point, which I think is to share what you have learned. I think so often what we do as leaders inside the organization is that we talk about the successes that we have had, but we forget that a part of getting there is the journey of making mistakes along the way. I think one of the most powerful things that leaders can do in an organization is to talk about something that they learned from a mistake that they made and what they learned as a result. Now, I don't expect you to talk about your deepest, darkest, but something that you have found useful along the way. Maybe you tried a strategy that didn't work, or you thought that we would go in this direction and it turned out that it wasn't quite as you thought. This sets a tone of creating the impression that it is acceptable to make mistakes, and I think that this is very, very important within the organization. And also demonstrates the follow-on behavior of actually learning from the mistakes, not simply just making them. Thirdly, I think the third most impactful thing that you can do is to create a sequence of focus across the entire organization. So often what we see happening inside the companies is that everyone is super busy. There's things from marketing, things from sales, things from finance. Everybody has a list, and the poor folks who are working on the stuff are sitting there trying to juggle all of the lists from every different department. Whereas if you do, as we did at Spotify, create a list of bets that say there is a clear and single number one, there is a clear and single number two, that enables us as everyday regular folks within the organization to know what is actually the most important, but also to be able to shift our focus around as and when that changes. I think that this has a profound impact across the entire organization, and I would say that these three things are the most impactful that you can do at the C level. So to recap, going first, modeling the behaviors you want to see. Quite specifically is secondly to share what you have learned from mistakes and things that you have discovered along this journey. And third is to create a focus sequence across the entire organization. I look forward to hearing more of these questions. Thank you, Henrik, for this one today, and I'll see you in the next one. Hej då!